Good evening, my good people. Okay, I got a word for y'all. So God had me in 1 Samuel 3, and He pointed out some things that He would like for me to let you know. Do not hold a word from the Lord unless He tells you not to release it yet, because it is not the time for it to be released. The next thing was, do not allow your children to be wild do not allow your children to do wild things which disrespect God, you, and them. Get your children in order. The next thing was, nothing God speaks will come back to him void. In other words, nothing God tells you will come back void. He's going to give confirmation to the word that he's giving you. The next thing is, God will reveal you and his word. You shall speak and be called a prophet from God. In other words, it doesn't matter who doesn't believe that you are who God says you are. Just allow God to prove that to the people. Like, you don't have to fight against people. You don't have to prove to nobody that you are who God is calling you to be. You may not yet know who you are in God, but God knows who he has called you and chosen you to be. You don't need a human or a man made you don't need human or man-made titles to serve the Lord. Listen, it don't matter. Like, I know it's a lot of people that emphasize putting titles upon somebody when they're working in the fivefold ministries, but God is letting you know, listen, you don't have to work with a title according to human standards, human form. God says he will call you out and he will make it known to people who you are in him. And it does not have to necessarily mean that you got to walk around with a title. You do not have to be authorized to walk around with a title upon your name to serve God. You can be a servant of God and people not even know that you're a prophet, an apostle, a pastor, a teacher, or whatever in the fivefold ministry. You don't have to walk around with those titles to serve God, period. God is calling you out from one place and taking you to another. Listen for God's voice. He is about to call you out and upon to do the work of the Lord, of your Lord God. Listen and answer his voice / call. Listen, there's some Samuels out here that God, he's getting ready to call you out. It's some Samuels out here. It's some Jeremiahs out here. It's some prophets of God out here. And he is getting ready to call you out. And I pray that you do not be afraid, but that you would answer the call, the voice of God. Listen, discern the voice of God versus the other voices in the enemy that will try to trap you or trick you up or whatever. You're going to know it's God, because he's not going to trap you or trick you up in no sort kind of way. That is not how God operates. He's going to come to you in a loving, humble, spirited way where you're going to know it's him. Y'all listen and answer the call, because God is calling out his Samuels, his Jeremiahs, his prophets, his apostles, his pastors, the people that are going to teach and lead the people in the right way. A calling is upon your life. It is time for you to answer the call from God. Stop being afraid. Stop being scared of people and your family members and your friends and others, what they might say, how they may feel. It doesn't have anything to do with them. It has to do with what God has already predestined, preordained, pre-called, and pre-purposed you to be. Before you even were in your mother's womb, he knew you. You were with him. Now it's time for you to answer his call. I love y'all. I pray you have a blessed evening.